Hi, it's Jeff with YourLearningCareer.com. If you are considering a career in learning and development, then there are a lot of choices out there. So you might be thinking about becoming a trainer, or you might want to try instructional design. But what if all of that sounds cool to you? Like, you're like, wow, I'd love to get up and deliver classes, but I'd also like to design them. Are there jobs like that? And the answer is yes, absolutely. That's where I've spent most of my career. So I told you I started as a trainer and I was just strictly training delivery. But then, and that was for about 2-3 years, I'd say. Well, then from there I moved into a job where I was doing both training delivery and instructional design. And then eventually moved into a job where I was doing training delivery, instructional design, and e-learning. And I'd say, and e-learning again, I'd say is part of instructional design, but that's where I was. So yes, there are jobs, and they usually have the word specialist tacked at the end. So, you know, learning and development specialist, T&D specialist, training specialist, whatever, you know. But there are a lot of jobs where, yes, they want you to do all of it. You will deliver training, you will design training, you will create e-learning, you will create videos. You know, it's like, whoa. Now, the plus side of that is, and what I loved about those types of roles, is I learned a lot. So I really got to learn all kinds of different aspects to all these different skills, you know. Now, of course, the downside is, jack of all trades, expert at none. You might feel like that sometimes. It's like, wow, I can't really focus on anything because I have to. You're constantly shifting mindsets, which again, like for me, I'm very. I tend to have a short attention span, so you know, for me, I really liked that. I like that variety. But for some people, that can drive you crazy. So. Just some things to think about when you're looking at those roles, you know, and you may not want to take all of that on. So for me, it was I kind of liked the transition that I had, where I was full-time facilitation before I moved into doing both. Because after doing the training for a while, I started to get a good sense of what made a good class. And so it was a easier transition to do the instructional design, because since I'd been teaching classes, I knew what made a good class, and it helped me as I built up my instructional design skills. And then I eventually worked into e-learning. So easing into it would be a recommendation that I have, but you know, so you'll see what works best for you. And then I guess I'll just really briefly, you know, so those are the main job roles that I want to talk about. But there are other ways to get into training and development. If you are someone who really loves project management, there are training coordinator and training project management roles. So those are some things, if you're really organized and that's something you want to do, that, you know, those opportunities exist. Or if you're more into leadership and you want to lead a training department, there are certainly plenty of, you know, there's training managers, directors, etc. I'm not going to talk about those here. I have not personally had those roles, but I've worked with some great people who have been in those roles. But anyway, so those are some other ways to get into learning and development as well. If you'd like more information on a career in learning and development, be sure to check out my website and the links that I will provide in the description below, along with my other videos here on the channel. And if you like what you see, be sure to subscribe so you won't miss anything new.